What's up, guys? My name is Will Weber, and I thank you for joining us on The Spinn. Now, today I am joined by Jocelyn Simmons, David Manjares, and Tiffany Salome, and we got a host of topics to talk to you guys about. So we're going to start it off with everyone's least favorite virus, Zika. Now, yesterday, the Senate fell 8 votes short of passing a $1.1 billion bill that would combat the disease down south. Now, David, you've lived in Brazil for a short period of time. Do you know anyone down there who's been affected by the disease?
Not directly. I don't know anyone that has been affected by the disease. I do know people that have been affected by the disease, But I think that they're making it a bigger deal here than over there. People over there, they just go with their daily routine, and they just move on with their lives.
So do you feel like the media and the newspapers here are making this bigger than it really is?
Yes, definitely. I think it's the swine flu all over again. We were worried about it for a while, and then we just forgot about it next year, and we're probably gonna forget about the Zika virus next year.
Now, Tiffany, in Florida, over 500 people have been infected with Zika, and your boyfriend, he is Brazilian, and he's going down to Brazil this summer.
Yes.
Do you have any nerves?
I'm not gonna lie, I do have a little bit of nerves, particularly because I have seen what the deformed babies look like. Now, I'm a woman. One day I would like to be pregnant, and I just get concerned that, my child is going to be infected with the disease, more than myself. And I think that makes it all the more realer to me,
So because the disease obviously has a more severe effect on women as opposed to men, do you guys feel like you're more at risk? And more importantly, do you feel like our government should be doing more to fight this before it spreads throughout the country?
No, I don't think our government should be doing more. I feel like it's kind of like you said, it's going to go away eventually. And we're wasting money to a point of trying to build something that we don't really know what's happening with. And then I don't really feel as concerned about the disease as much because my mom is not letting us go anywhere, like Miami, where we used to live. So it's stuck.
So you're from Miami?
Yeah, I lived there for 3 years, and I think when we lived there, stuff was happening there too. And it's kind of like you said, down there, it is what it is. They're not as concerned that it's for people like us up here.
Is Zika one of the reasons your mom doesn't want you to travel down back to where you're from?
Yeah, because she says she's worried about mosquitoes and stuff happening, and she's kind of we just stay here.
It's a scary time down in Miami right now. They've had 36 infections off mosquitoes that are now on the continental USA. So Zika has officially made its way to the United States. Over 600 people in New York have been infected, and over 500 people in Florida. So I think it's a reasonable risk.
Well, we can't stop Zika, but we can stop digital detoxing. So I know all you guys have a phone, because here they are right here. Mm-hmm. How many of you guys cannot go without your phone for at least a day? Anyone, y'all?
I think I could, but I wouldn't want to. What if I miss an email? What if I miss a text? And those are trivial things, but I really do think that our phone has done more good than bad. I think our phone has brought us together and given us more social experiences, whether that be through Twitter, whether that be through Facebook, or whether that be through dating sites like eHarmony and Match.com. You can say what you want about the people that walk around with their head buried and walk into light poles or walk through traffic, but I think a greater majority of people are really getting the beneficial experience of being on their phones.
Yes, Will, but social media addiction is so real. You see people walking to class literally like this,
Yeah.
Looking at Facebook, looking at Twitter. Some people can't even leave a story unwatched. That is addiction. And I think that is a real problem for our generation particularly. Because even when I'm sitting in class, I'll, look over people's shoulders because, their phone's kind of right there. And they're on Snapchat, on Twitter. You pay for this course and you sit there on your phone. So.
But then you got the added temptation of the big computer sitting in front of you, because a lot of our classes are you do your work on the computer. True. And me and you both see it. You'll be sitting and you'll see the person in the front row ahead of you, and they've got Amazon.com pulled up. They've got Twitter pulled up. They're shopping online. So it's how do you fight this addiction when this addiction is becoming interwoven with our daily life, whether it be through school, through work, or through socializing? How do you fight it?
And then David, how do you feel if you're on a date and somebody's on their phone paying you no attention pretty much?
Well, it gives me a big indicator if they're really worth my time or not, and it tells me how their manners are, if they're interested in me. So it's a big signal if I'm gonna invest time or not into this person. So it does have a positive side as well as a negative side.
So do you guys think this will help us in the future with like journalism, like getting the news? Like you said, we're always on our phones. So should that help us more?
I think it already has. You see that with how the newspaper industry has just crumbled in the last couple of years. It's pros and cons. You know, it makes everyone a journalism. You see it with movements like the Black Lives Matter movement, where because of the invention of smartphones and social media, you're able to see the egregious acts by some of these police officers across the country. But you also see it with the way we communicate with other people, how you got the socially awkward people who are vibrant personalities on social media, but when you meet them, they sit in the corner of the party with their drink, not talking to anyone. So it's got its pros and cons, but I think the pros outweigh the cons in this instant.
Well, before we go to break, check out this Facebook post of the day about the hurricane that gave us the day off.
You're watching Spinnaker Television.
Hey there, Ospreys. Diane Colley here at Spinnaker to give you an update on what you might have missed last week. Remember that mysterious liquid that was found in the Osprey landings during spring move-out? Last week we gave you an update on the case, and that mysterious liquid turns out to be a psychedelic drug called DMT. We also gave you an update on where UNF ended in the Victoria's Secret Pink Showdown, as well as Hurricane Herman and where she ended up. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to stay in the know. And hey, go ahead and download our app, available in the App Store and Google Play. We are UNF Spinnaker, and we're working for you.
Welcome back, guys. Now we're going to talk about something a little bit more dark and gets people's gears going, especially mine. Brock Turner, who was the Stanford swimmer convicted for sexual assault. Now, it was recommended that he go to jail for 6 years, but instead he served 3 months. How does that make you feel, Jocelyn?
That sucks. I mean, what's the difference between rape and sexual assault? Like, it is what it is for both, and I think he should serve more time. But I think people like missing out what happened because they're more harassing him and not, like you said, the judge who gave him that short little sentence that he's not doing nothing with.
Well, actually, they are harassing the judge because 1 million people have signed a petition to get him off the bench, and he currently cannot see or hear any more criminal cases. I mean, the average sentence for convicted rapists are about 10 years, and it's just ridiculous that this guy has only served 3 months. Now, Will, I mean, you have a girlfriend. She has a very big possibility of, being sexually assaulted at a party because she got drunk.
Yeah, it's one of those things where as a guy, I am never in that position, okay? So when I'm walking home and the sun's gone down and I'm taking the path to lot 14 through the trees, I'm never the one who's fearful. I am the one who's feared. So I can't put myself in the position of a woman. But I can understand the fear and why this is such a disgusting act. There is no place for this kind of person in our society, yes. But I also think the anger and the hatred and the picketing outside his house, while it's deserved, I don't think that it is equal. And look at it like this. People are convicted of rape every day. You don't see them getting their houses surrounded by the media, by the angry people. This judge, yes, he's off criminal cases now. Yes, he's had a petition signed, but he hasn't felt the physical effects of what he caused by making this sentence. If he sentenced Brock Turner to 6 years, chances are we wouldn't be talking about this. Chances are this would have went to the back burner because it's a normal sentence. So I think the judge is getting off a lot easier than he should be, and Brock Turner is taking a lot more of the heat for the judge.
But Will, this case is bringing light that you know, rapists and sexual assaultists, if that's even a word, you know, they're not getting the punishment that they deserve. I think that's what's coming out of this whole thing. Like, I can go sexually assault someone behind a dumpster and only go to jail for 3 months. And that's what I think the tone sets.
I mean, it really epitomizes the rape culture, every aspect of it. Between, you got the white Stanford swimmer, you've got the girl who's drunk at a party, who's consenting. So it takes all those aspects of the rape culture, the college rape culture, and then he gets that kind of sentence, and it really drives it home that this is a real thing and this happens every day.
Well, talking about unpopular athletes, Colin Kaepernick, second game in a row where he doesn't stand up for the national anthem, and it has people thinking, when is it going to stop? When is he finally going to stand up and show some respect towards the American flag? And a lot of it is pointed at disrespect to the military. What do you think, Jocelyn? Do you think it's a disrespect to the military, or he's right to do this?
As a military kid, I feel like it's kind of a shot to the military, but I know it's not. Because he has a point he's trying to make, but I feel like people are forgetting his point because they're so focused on being mean to the military, he's being disrespectful. Like, so I feel like that's getting like downplayed and more saying, oh, he doesn't like the military, which I feel like he does like them. He just hasn't found the right approach yet to do his stand.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is his constitutional right to not stand up, you know, but it just seems a sign of disrespect. Well, I'm sure you heard that veterans are actually supporting him in the sense that he has the right to do it, but they don't see it as an offense to them. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought that was one of the more interesting hashtags of this past week. It was called Veterans Supporting Kaepernick, and it was a bunch of veterans taking pictures saying, I hear you, I get what you're saying, and I realize that this is not a shot at the military. And I also think Colin Kaepernick's done a lot to push his message further and direct it away from the military. For one, he talked with a former Green Beret, I think his name was Nate Boyer, and they made the decision together that instead of sitting down on the bench, he's going to go down on one knee, just to show a little more respect. He's pledged to donate $1 million to a charity to show that he is a part of this action. He's going to do something physical to contribute. So I think as long as his message grows and as long as other athletes come together to support, people will focus more on the message and less on the way he delivered it.
Yeah, definitely. And also, you have a lot of athletes also talking about it. Cam Newton actually spoke about it, but him and other athletes are not bringing up the same type of strong points that Colin Kaepernick are talking about. They rather go around the circle, around the bush, because they're too afraid to lose contracts or things like that.
Yeah, Cam Newton shied away from it a little more than I would have liked to see, especially after the media takedown he endured last year. But, you know, you got stars like Megan Rapinoe, who is a gay woman for the U.S. women's soccer team, who took a knee to kneel with Kaepernick. You know, you got Eric Reed on his team who sat down with him. Jeremy Lane on the Seahawks sat down. So I think a lot of people are getting behind his movement. You know, his jersey sales are up. They're the #1 jersey sales in the league this past week. So I see a lot of support for the movement.
I mean, he's using his fame in the right way. He sees that he has a big fan base, everybody's watching, and what better way to bring light to a real issue in our country of corruption against, you know, about the Black Lives Matter movement. I mean, I think that it's actually responsible for him. It's his, you know, responsibility to bring these issues to light, because if he doesn't, who's going to?
My only knock against him would be the effect it'll have on his team. So Colin Kaepernick took this stand. He got all the media attention, which is what he wanted, which is great. But every single one of his teammates is now being asked about this situation and is being questioned at every press conference. So it's like, what kind of environment are you setting up for your team? Definitely not a fun environment like we have here at the Spinn. So we thank you guys for watching. It was our first episode. I hope you guys had a good time. Be sure to catch us next Wednesday at 7 o'clock and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Once again, I'm Will Weber, Jocelyn Simmons, David Manjarez, and Tiffany Salome. Peace.
We actually have a special guest that's going to come out and say hello and present you guys with a little something here. This, everyone, is Travis Rudolph, wide receiver for the Florida State Seminoles, and Travis has something he'd like to say to Bo and Leah this morning.
Well, we want you to know that you'll always be a special member of the Noel family. We got your jersey.
Hold that up and show America, guys.
See it?